So happy welcome to my presentation. To be honest, I have the broadest topic you could choose, so I did not choose the title myself. I think my marketing team made this up with the print team, because how generative AI is changing the e-commerce industry. When I would know that, I would write books and not staying here. I make a lot of money by doing that. But anyways, I had a hard time thinking about what to present today that you have a good time and take some good takeaways. So I give my best. Very short introduction of myself. I'm Johannes. I'm the CEO of Retresco. Retresco is a software company in the space of natural language processing. Since 15 years, we think about how to automate all sort of language-related businesses, so analyzing existing content to reuse it digitally or to make it able to use it for digital, and also in the content generation. We're in this game, so which is not a miracle anymore since 2 years, but or for 2 years now. But before that, we were a very unique kind of company generating content based on data. So this is the space we're in. We have 2 major focuses, industry focuses with our customers. So we mainly work with media and e-commerce clients and have different software as a service solutions in the space of NLP, and also a lot of project business to realize AI projects with our customers. So, but it's not about my company, sadly. But it's how AI is changing the world. And I would start the presentation with 3 slides I always start my presentations with. And this is the question, why am I talking on this conference about AI? I talked last year in this conference about AI, and I looked at the slides and see what was my presentation last year. And last year I did a real basic thing. What is ChatGPT? How is it working? What is an LLM? What is the role of Microsoft and stuff? So very basic. And I think I was the only AI presentation in the whole conference. Maybe 2 or 3 others. 5? 6. Okay, but only, it was very basic and very few topics. And I think this year, probably 70-80% of all presentations touch AI somehow. And the question is, why is that the case? Because there was AI in the place far before ChatGPT came up, or OpenAI came up with ChatGPT. And I think after this year, I changed this beginning slides. But there's one guy who brought it on the point, and this is Yuval Harari, who states that the big thing why everyone is affected by this AI revolution we have right now is that it is able to handle language better than the average human. And when we think of what language means for us, so it's the basic, language is the basis of our society. It's the basis that I am able to talk to you. It's the basis how we interact, how we do things in our personal life, in our business life. It affects everything. It makes us unique. And language is a unique human thing. And now there is an artificial intelligence is able to do or manage language better than we can. And this is why it affects everyone. It's not about having, Google Maps showing me the right way, or having a surgery done by an automate better than by human, but it's about talking to each other, interacting with each other. And we can do that on an artificial basis now. And language is not only meant the spoken or written word, it means every sort of communication which is affected now. You all know that. We can create pictures, we can create videos, we can create music, we can create code, we can create text, and we can even getting better in solving very complex problems. So this is what AI is all about, and of course it has an effect on almost every, and I would say on every industry in the world, because it's so basic. Such a basic thing. So, and now get to the topic. What does this mean for e-commerce, and how is it affecting the e-commerce? And I, as already said, had a hard time thinking about what to say to this broad topic. And I thought I'd divide it into 2 perspectives. The first one is I try to talk a little bit about what is it doing within organizations at the moment. So how does AI affect the daily work within an e-commerce company, and not only e-commerce company, but others also. And on the second thing, I took one aspect where I think that external factors affecting e-commerce companies in the future pretty much, and I will show a little bit of that. For the internal part now, I do something very unusual for myself. I show you some statistics because we made a survey this summer with different e-commerce and some other companies, about 90, and we ask C-level and team leads how they use AI, and the extract is an, we say, AI readiness report. So how companies using AI right now and how ready are they to use that. And I think this is a pretty good thing to see how e-commerce companies are affected at the moment by using AI. And probably it's not everything is very surprisingly for you, but we can make a little interactions thing. And if you see things completely different, then just raise your arm or yell at me or say something or make a noise so we can interact and talk, okay, about the results. So the first thing, it's only 6 slides, so, but it's only statistic now. 6, you will survive. All right, so the first thing is that you can say there's almost no company is not affected. I already said why. I'll try to explain why. So 85% say they regularly work with AI. And I thought this is okay number. It's not a big surprise. What surprised me is that 1 of 13 teams says that they already do more than 50% of their tasks using AI. And our marketing team, when we talked about the survey, said, oh, it's only 1 out of 13 teams. And I thought, what? Tell me what I can do in my daily tasks using AI in 50% of my, using AI in 50% of my tasks. I think this is a lot. And there is already 1 team out of 13 stating that. So I think this is, for me, that was the more surprising thing in this slide. So another thing which I was a little surprised of is if you have personal discussions about AI, it's very fast about the negative impact it could have. So always, in my experience, when you have, like yesterday evening, you sit there, drink a beer, talk about what is coming up, and a lot of people say, well, you know, there are a lot of threats and obstacles using AI. But people using AI say, I am 8 out of 10. They say they have very positive or mostly positive experience using AI. So there's not this negative impact by using it. Only a very small group of people say, okay, that was not a good thing to do. And of course, there are the challenges, and people know about them. And this is a not surprising slide, I think. The top 3 challenges are still there. It's the pure quality of the output of LLMs, which is mainly affected by hallucinations. So everyone knows what hallucination mean? Yeah. Last year, not everyone knew what hallucination means. Okay. And of course, if you know how an LLM works, this will stay or will be a problem in the future also. It's a matter of fact. So it's technically not solvable. You can handle it, but you will not get 100% accuracy of the output of an LLM. And so this is a problem everyone is aware of, and it is very important that everyone is aware of, because it is the major problem of using LLMs. The second, also not surprising, is data protection and legal security concerns. You will hear that also everywhere. And also this is clear, we do not have enough laws or regulations. What happens when what happens to my data when the LLM use it for training? Can I use the output? How can I use the output? And so on. So you all know these discussions. This is the second concern. The third concern is a major problem, and it's also pretty clear why it is there. Most people say we have a lack of knowledge using AI. So we have people in the company who are pretty fit and they can do things, but if you look at the whole organization, we're not ready to use it because we just don't know things. And I think this is completely obvious. It's a 2-year-old technology. We have never seen such a tremendous speed in development of new features and new possibilities. So there can't be know-how in every company on a broad view. So this is obvious, but it is a problem. And when we see the first, or not a problem, but at least it is a challenge. And the first challenge is when you see what do companies do, or how, for what people use AI. And there also it is very obvious. They generate text, they also generate pictures and some video stuff, a lot of audio. But if you compare, like 86% say they make text generation, and when you ask on a nerd level, okay, what other kinds of content you create automatically or use AI for, like audio and pictures, it's like 26% or something. So the main thing is working with text. 86% do content research, all the things you all probably do also every day. And these are all efficiency things. Getting faster, making tasks easier, being better in doing things. But none of this really brings value and money for your company. The things down here, having a service bot which answers the main questions of your customers without human interaction needed, or personalize your offerings, personalize your emails, personalize whatever you want to personalize, is not used at all. And there are a whole bunch of other things you could say here, down here, and you see all the productive things which brings money, which are service-oriented, which face the customer. People or companies are not there yet. Only a very small number. I hope I make my point. So doing the obvious, not doing the complex things, means looking of rising the efficiency, but not looking of how can I use AI to create really new values for my company. And of course, seeing this, no, things happens. Okay, don't know. There's a button not working. Don't worry. Bringing this in context with that people are not ready, and it's obvious or not really good at it. Okay, next slide, and this is also pointing to the point before. So why are companies mostly do the obvious? Because the companies are not really mature. When we ask people how mature you would say is your company to use AI, only very, 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 very few respondents said, we are all fine and set up. The majority of people say we are not mature enough to use AI. And there are two things which kind of correspond to that. The first one is, I think that not even the half of companies have AI guideline yet. This is some sort of scary when you know that 86% of people in your organization, or at least a part of your people in the organization already work with AI, and you have no guideline in place to kind of see how people use it, then it is a big problem. And talking about AI trainings and stuff, there are not even a third or about a third who really constantly start training their people. And now there comes a point, if you work in the EU, the EU AI Act says you have to train your people in order to offer AI-based services. So no one knows what that means. So it's a AI Act, but still, so it is a regulation that you have to teach your people. So even if you say I ignore things and whatever, you have to do so, and only a third of companies doing that. So to round it up, it is in every company. Everyone is using it. They're doing the obvious things. They are aware of the obstacles which are there. And they are not very mature in doing it and using it organizationally wide. This is my internal view. The external view, and now we stop talking about, is that fitting your experience also in your organizations? No one says no. No, I'll just go on. You can interact. I don't have to talk 35 minutes in a row, but you don't have to. All right, let's have an external view, and no more data. And for the external view, I would maybe this will be more controversial. Maybe I think the biggest external driver for change in the business of e-commerce is the partnership between Microsoft and OpenAI. Why is that? Because Microsoft opened the race of by integrating an LLM into their search. And this is maybe the controversial thing to discuss, I'm pretty sure this will change the whole search market and how e-commerce and all the search game at all is be done in the future. Why? Because Microsoft kind of provoked Google. They attacked Google, or at least Google acted as they were attacked and said, okay, we have a code red and we have to do something on that. We are an AI company for years now, and now there comes Microsoft and these OpenAI guys and attack our holy cow, the search. And of course they reacted and they now launched Google AI Overviews. Everyone aware of what Google AI Overviews is? Okay, then I tell you, it's pretty easy. When you search for something in Google, then you do not get the usual search result page with a whole bunch of links, but they answer the thing you're searching for. So here in the example, it says, I need a birthday present for my son. He turns 3 next week and loves blah, 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 whatever. And then Google searches for the right answer. So it looks at the sources and will create, based on AI, the answer what you should buy or could buy your child. This is the first thing. And the second thing is you can then interact with the search result. You can then say, okay, my son is in ball games, whatever, but he likes basketball more than football, so it will go on deeper in your search. So you can interact with the search. So it turns kind of from a search machine into an answer machine or an interaction machine, you could say. This is what it does. And now, I don't know who of you discovered or played around with the solutions already, who experienced it. To be honest, it is not there where it's supposed to be yet. It's not a very great user experience using this kind of search, because they have the same problems. They have to find the right sources. They have hallucinations in the answers and all this kind of stuff. And if you would use it now, you probably would think, all right, this is not the future. The thing why I think it would still be the future is because it is out of the box and no one can afford to put it back in there. So maybe it will not look like it is now. Probably they integrate AI solutions in a different way in their search. But that AI will play a major role is obvious. There's not only Google, there are new players in the field. Like Perplexity is coming up. It's a very strong, nerdy search engine. I can recommend using it if you have not yet, but it is very good. So if you ask something or search for something in Perplexity, it will give you different sources, it will give you an answer, and it will give you follow-up questions you could ask to go deeper into in the topic. So it's very relevant for contextual searches you have. OpenAI itself just launched a beta version of ChatGPT, which is exactly the same, which is, I just explained what Google Overviews does. So not only OpenAI is partnering with Microsoft, integrating into Bing, they create their own AI-based search engine themselves. And there is a threat that Gen Z don't even use any search engine to get informations or do some commerce stuff. They use completely different platforms. And also, these platforms also are very much AI driven. Is that right? Is there? No. This is not my, I would say not my survey, but it's a huge one. I think it's not a lie. But all right, and if you're not convinced, since you had used Google Overviews, and say, no, this is stupid, then there are 2 other things coming up now. The first thing is all this AI stuff is coming to our phones now. So you don't even have to have your notebook on and go on Google and search for something. And the second major change, and this, if I have not convinced you yet, is that everything will be more voice-driven than it is now. So you don't even need a Google interface to search for something. Just imagine I take my phone out and say, I need a present for my 3-year-old son. His birthday is today or tomorrow, and I need a proper present now, within the next 4 hours. And I don't need to do anything. I don't need a shop to get this. But my phone manages, to pick out the right thing, maybe ask me back, is that the thing you want to have? And I say, yes. And then organize all the order and the delivery and all this kind of stuff. And we are not that far away from this. Of course, there are some technical borders and some legal borders and so on. But in any case, you don't need an e-commerce provider in the middle. You have me as the user, I talk to my phone, and Google is doing the rest. And of course, Google needs some sort of person who has this product and delivers it, and now the Chinese guys come in and say, okay, I just produce it and deliver it right away. So where's the shop in between? Why should you need it? What should happen? So this is, I think, the very big view you have to have in face, and I think this is not that far away, so it's not a future vision. So I couldn't tell it because I'm not the pretty good visionaire, but I think it's a realistic picture that this comes up. And so to give it a number, Gartner says, and now we are back in the interface game. So we are still in Google and searching for things. And even that, Gartner predicts that by 2028, 50% of the organic search traffic will be gone. 50%. So if your e-commerce business is based on Google search interaction, then it is a big number. Even if it's only 40, I would think about things. Time to panic? Probably not, as always in business, but you should care, or e-commerce should care. Everyone should care. The one thing that's very happening now is when you remember the Google overviews. So what happens is you ask a question, and then you still have the search result page, but it will drop down. So the Google overviews will come up front, and it will give you an answer. And the big new SEO game at the moment is, how can I create my content and promote my content to be in this list up here? So how can I be a relevant source for Google to be mentioned in the answer above? And the crazy thing about it is, we could think of, when we make it easy, we could think, okay, the best Treffer, the best hits here are also the sources for up here, and this is not the fact. I think 1 out of, or 2 out of 10 are the best search results are up here. The rest is from pages far above that. So no one knows how to get in here. Of course, as always, Google gives signs, and you can, but the SEO industry really much, turns their focus away from how can we be here the best, but how can we get up there in the answers. There's one thing very obvious. The category page is also very SEO driven. What's the major thing for an e-commerce shop to be optimized, to be relevant for Google? If you have a good optimized category page, you had a good chance to be ranked good. This will come less relevant, of course, when the discovery happens in Google itself or in the search engine itself. Why should someone search again on your category page? When you find the product you search for already in the search engine, you don't need to search for it again. So probably the way will be, you search in an engine, find your product, click on the source, and you will jump right to the product detail page, which makes the product detail page far more important than it has been before. So, in turning this idea further, then data about your products, and this is a good part for all the PIM providers in here, the data will be even more important. They are still already important enough, but so this will not go away. You need data for your products and for all your portfolio, and you have to have them structured and good organized to give them to Google, to give them to all the machines, to give it to AI, to give AI signs that you are, in certain cases, the right source to search. So, what should e-commerce companies do? Yes, yeah, please.
Maybe one question, because I got this discussion already beginning of the year. I mean, we are now managing data for other people, like the customer buys our customer goods, and this is how we also train large language models or Gen AI to generate product descriptions that fits the needs of the customer.
Yes.
But now the game changes, right? So we are used to generate data for other bots, other Gen AI and LLMs for Google, for instance. Do you think, or do you see already any changes in terms of how we prepare our product data for the new game?
Oh, this is a big question. I think there are changes, but you're right. It's just another optimization game. Yeah. So, for example, feedback from customers, reviews are very important, and this is a data point you can handle it. You know, you can say your customers make a better review. What we see in the only thing I can say to is that the SEO people we talk to really have a bigger focus on the certain product to get more product details than they had before. So in my business also we do a lot of product descriptions automatically. We always need product data, and I know there was a big lag, or there is a big lag in having product data. Everyone is very focused on the category and saying, what is my portfolio? Bring that to Google. And now the optimization is like, Google figures out what the user wants, and they want to give a more accurate answer. And if you are a source for this answer, then you have to show Google that you have the right product for exactly that. So, and this is of course a game changer, because you need to give Google completely different signals, not what is your portfolio it is not interested in, but what is your major point. So, but I know this probably does not answer your question. I don't know whether the things already changed or we see it. I don't see it myself, but I can say that the SEO guys at least do a different job. So what can we do? So the big thing is, I have some slides now, I just go through them. It's very easy. I think if you have not used AI now, you should start experimenting with it. And if you use AI and think you have seen everything and you can, make easy now, I think you shouldn't. And there are some things you can just do and play around with. Let's stick to the data top. It's never been so easy to generate data. This is a very related problem to the one we just talked about. My business is pretty much based on I need data from our clients to produce something and to do something with it. And it's a big problem. A lot of e-commerce companies just don't have the data for their products. And it's never been so easy. So now you can just upload data, pictures of products, and you can say what kind of structured data you need out of that. And then the LLM will provide you the data in the format you need out of the picture. Yes, this is not perfect. Yes, this is not working for every kind of product. Of course, if you have a pullover, the LLM will not figure out what is the material. It cannot tell you. But with furniture, for example, it works amazingly great, because there are so many pictures of furniture described somehow in the training data for an LLM, and this table is probably not very unique, so of course it can figure out what is that table all about. It's out of wood, and so on and so on. It gives you the data you need, at least enough data to create more content out of that. So this is very easy. It has never been so easy to create consistent branding. You can use generative AI very good to train it. So what is your tone of voice? What is the message you want to give? And then spread it over all of your products, no matter who is writing. So the stylistic things is very easy. You can fine-tune a model that it copies your style of language and how you want to talk to your customers, and it will take over your branding, and you can put it over all your product descriptions and stuff. It has never been so easy transforming boring data into, I can make the jump because it's the back button doesn't work. I think it's because of it's recorded. So what we see here is a comparison of two products, and it's very ugly made. So you have data sets from both, and then they colored the differences between them, and then you can look. And who should do that? If you're not a real bad nerd, you wouldn't use this page to compare these two products because it's not sexy, not good at UX. And you can just put this data sets into an LLM and say, okay, write me the comparison and only point out the major differences and tell me what should I buy. It's easy. You can just do it. It is easy. It will do it by itself. You don't have to analyze the data. You don't have to read. You can just do it. It's very easy to create engaging content. We had it in the talk before this presentation. I would be very broad and say translation is done. You don't need external translators, human translators, 2 or 3 years from now. So translation is perfect, nearly perfect. Of course, you need a, overview it, the same thing. There are mistakes in it. There are some minor things not working, but it has never been so easy to translate. Every one of you will use translators probably everyday business. This is a solved problem. I think all translation agencies will have a very hard time. And it's never been so easy to interact with customers. And this, I think, is something you really have to look at. This is an example from jumbo.ch. It's a great thing. Jumbo, I like it. And they just have a chatbot, and it's a very good one, so you can have a look at it, where you can search for certain things. You can ask, okay, what kind of plants also always growing in wintertime, don't need a lot of light and stuff, and it will answer that. We are at the beginning here. Why is that so important? You can say, okay, chatbot, this chatbot story is old as whatever. I agree. Why should you think of interacting with your customers? First thing is, the lack in e-commerce is always the missing advisor. You don't have a human you can talk to when you go to a shop and say, what kind of plant I can buy? You need a human to ask. You can overcome this e-commerce problem because you can now create an artificial advisor for your customers. The more important aspect I see is people will expect interaction. You just saw the example for Google. When they learn they can interact with Google and they can search for things, it will change their habits. And this will change the expectations, how they get information. And if you are used to having dialogue with your search engine to find the information you need, they will have exact the same expectation when they go to your shop and buy something. So this is, I think, something, chatbots, this is a revolution. You can do chatbots better than ever before using AI. Still, there are some challenges with that, but you have to do it. If you take one thing out of these 2 days, one thing out of this presentation, think about interacting possibilities with your customers. I'm very, very sure this will be a game changer in the expectation of users, how they expect things to be presented. And if you ask me what is the future of e-commerce and I don't know. What I can tell you is this is what we can do right now, having assistive systems helping us doing things. And where it takes us, I have no idea. I'm sure it will take us somehow, and if you want to be a winner, you have to tackle it. Thank you very much.